this animal was free, and so was this one, this one, this one. This one was 10 bucks, this one was 20, and you would never believe me unless I gave you the secret today on how to never pay full price for reptiles ever again. I think I've told the story of how I got Diamond here for free a few times and a bunch of other animals for next to nothing. But I'm going to tell you how these circumstances can apply to you, and you can make a habit out of getting reptiles for the very best price rather than doing what everyone else does. What everybody else does is they scroll through a marketplace, and you scroll and scroll and scroll, and you see there's 1,000+ pages of animals. If there's 1,000+ pages of animals, how do you know what's a good price and what's not unless you stay there for hours and hours and hours looking through every listing of every animal that's the same as the one that you want or similar and then deciding? This is called analysis paralysis. Anyway, why would you do that when instead you could log on to an app that is free to download, scroll through some profiles, click on one, and have the person who's selling the animal live talk to you and tell you exactly why the animal is perfect for you, or maybe not perfect for you, the benefits of the animal in terms of your breeding project or just as a pet, tell you exactly what's going on with the animal. You can ask questions for that animal. When was this animal born? When were the eggs laid? What was the temperature that you incubated the eggs at? Very specific questions that you'd never, ever see in a listing on a regular website for an animal that you would potentially buy. Well, that's Palm Street. Here's the problem with having so many listings available to you just there that, oh, if I want it, I buy it. There's no negotiating on price. It's just add to cart. The problem is, first of all, you can't really ask questions in real time. You can send messages back and forth, but you might get an answer today, tomorrow. By the time you get an answer, the animal's sold. This is annoying. This has happened to me so many times. Not only that, this is rare, by the way. Sometimes there's scamming and people who are bots, or the animal isn't real, or the animal isn't even what you're looking at. For example, when I was trying to buy a specific animal that I won't say because I don't want you guys to know who the breeder is, I was shown an animal, hey, this is the animal that you're buying. And when the animal showed up, it wasn't that specific animal. I saw a listing the next day for that same animal that I supposedly bought. He showed the prettiest animal and then shipped one of the siblings of the clutch that wasn't as good looking. This is not cool. However, when I go to a live auction, which is different, by the way, a live auction in comparison to an auction that isn't a live auction, I'll tell you the difference. But first, you're seeing the animal that this person is actually going to send to you. For example, Goldenrod Gex. He was in last week's video talking about the build-off. He sells geckos on Palm Street. If he shows me, hey, this is an empty back Harlequin, I don't know, all the crested gecko morphs and stuff. But if he shows you that, that is the animal that he then puts into a container with your name on it, and that's the animal that you get. Kind of like buying at a reptile expo, where you see, hey, on the table, I like that animal right there, put my name on it, and then you go pick it up at the end of the show. The animal that you see is the animal that you get. Security. Plus, on some of these sites, you can get bots who aren't even real people who are listing things, and then you can get scammed. And sure, this is not very common, but again, this is your money. You have to be super secure. We're on a live auction, which, by the way, is different than some other auctions. A lot of people in the comment section last week were telling me, oh, well, I don't want to wait for days and days and waste my time. No. This is a live auction. Like when you go to an auction and the auctioneer says, anyway, he auctions something off, and when people stop bidding, boom, the auction is over. The auction lasts a minute or a couple minutes. That is how Palm Street works. You go to the auction, whoever it is, the presenter, they tell you about the item, boom, auction starts, people bid, and there's a time limit on that auction. So it's not days or hours, it's literally minutes long. And of course, Palm Street's a community, so if you know a seller and you know they have an animal and you know it's gonna go up for auction or you're asking, you can shoot them a message. Hey, is this whatever that you're looking for, specific ball python or skink, going to be available? Yes, no.
And whatever animal you want, Adam, I will pull it out. I got the high expression camos, I got white tree frogs, blue tongues.
You know when to sign in, and you can click the little bell notification at the top right before the auction starts, so you get notified and, oh, hey, it's starting right now. You don't have to set up an auxiliary timer or try to remember. Life's busy. I don't know how anybody remembers anything. Ever. And look, there's a lot of great ways to buy reptiles. Not even on the internet, just in general. I got this beautiful bearded dragon, Diamond, who's been the face of the channel in 2020. And the reason I got him is because there was a rapper that I knew who was moving to Los Angeles and needed to get rid of his bearded dragon. So He handed it to me. I didn't even know him, actually. He just knew someone who knew me. Keeping an eye on classifieds, and people sometimes will get rid of whole collections and liquidate things for next to nothing. For example, one of my Doomels boas I got for a trade. I traded one of my corn snakes that I didn't want that fit into one of their projects, and I got this beautiful Doomels boa for the equivalent of a $150 snake because this person needed the snake I had, and the Doomels boa was probably worth $400, $500, $600. So I paid $0 because it was an animal that I produced that I gave to them. Of course, I put time and money in the feeding and stuff, I get it, but we're talking about exchange, $0. Or my frill dragon, for example, I got for less than half price because I saw the animal, I knew the person who owned it, and I just badgered this person that I wanted it for years, and I got it. Doug was free. The reason I got Doug is because somebody wasn't taking care of him, and all of a sudden it returned back to the reptile shop that I go to, and because I made a good connection, I have a good relationship with them. The first person they called to have their beloved Doug in good hands was me. You don't have to be a known guy or have a name on the internet, maybe a little social media or whatever, for people to like you and have a relationship with you. Talk to everybody, be nice to everybody, and that's another thing I love about Palm Street is it's an actual community. Don't bite my ear. You're banned from the community. Diamond, he's not. Palm Street, everybody loves Palm Street, and Palm Street loves everybody. It's not like a Facebook group, okay? I know what they're like. Palm Street is not that. I've never seen bickering, fighting, none of that. It's just everybody having a great time buying and selling animals, and usually for the best price. Now, I'm not saying that every auction you're going to buy things for half price. That would defeat the whole purpose as a seller. But this is a great way for sellers to sell their animals quickly and efficiently to people who they can actually vet because they're talking to them live, and you can vet the seller live too because you can type down below, or if you want to have a FaceTime after, whatever, you can do that, organize it after the fact. But once you bid and you win, the animal's yours. And this is how you don't have to pay top dollar, the highest price for animals, or just scroll through endlessly and get analysis paralysis. You know, like at a restaurant, when you have a smaller menu, it's always better than a bigger menu because you don't know what to pick. Well, it's the same thing with Palm Street. Don't ever hand me a menu that's like pages. If I have to turn pages, like, what the heck are we doing here? Is the food good or not? But what is good for sure is Palm Street. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring today's video. And if you hit the link below, there's a whole bunch of perks. You can follow me, we'll be interact, and I'm posting quite a bit on there that I don't post anywhere else.